Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this just doesn't work. Boy, you're a loud eater. Good old Roscoe is chowing down this morning. As always, they tell me don't quit your day job, so I'm getting ready to get out of here in a few minutes. And thank you for joining this episode of Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys, because literally you can't sleep on the Dallas Cowboys. And welcome to the first day without Jason Witten. That was an emotional goodbye by him, and basically that closes the door on an era. But it's time for the next generation to step up and lead. And I'm excited about the team where we stand right now. We're in the middle of OTAs and workouts and stuff, and the team is beginning to take shape. Now, taking shape, there's Randy Gregory out there. Randy Gregory, who's still on the team. A lot of people have wondered, why is he still on the team? Well, basically because it costs you nothing. If the NFL ended up changing their policy on weed, well, then he'd be reinstated the next day. But supposedly he has been clean since June 2016. Has passed all his tests. Now, what does he have in the tank, basically being off for 2 years? That's an unknown. The question you have to ask is, do you want to take a risk on him? Financially, he is still on his rookie contract because you have to play 6 games in order for you to have a year accrued. Well, last year didn't count for anything, neither did the year before. So he's still getting paid basically peanuts in comparison to somebody else. Potential-wise, we saw him 2016 for 2 games, played actually pretty well. I can't answer that question for you, but time will tell. First thing he has to do is get past Roger Goodell and be reinstated. And we know how it goes when you're Dallas Cowboy players. Now, an interesting thing that's going on right now is kickoffs. Yeah, we're talking about kickoffs. They're looking at changing the rules on kickoffs because they realize kickoffs, punts, where you've got guys that are literally running 40 yards downfield full steam, that there are a lot of injuries. I know from personal experience. In high school, last scrimmage, last 2 minutes of the game, on a punt, my job was outside contain. I end up running downfield, outside contain. Look back in, the ball carrier has the ball bounce off his knee, and it's rolling towards me. I'm thinking, I'm picking up this ball and I'm getting 6. Unfortunately, my left leg was planted as I was reaching forward, and it was at that time that I got hit in the shoulder. And literally, my knee went like that. Saw it one time on film, and that was enough. And I tore my ACL. In college, it was a lot different than it is even right now, because there used to be the good old wedge. You'd get 5 big guys that when the ball was kicked, they would get together, shoulder to shoulder, sometimes hold hands, and that would be the wedge for the running back to run off of. Well, the first game I played in college, I was the hot man, the wedge buster, right next to the kicker. My job was to spread downfield, 40 yards, and run full steam into the wedge. Needless to say, people get hurt that way. The NFL changed the rules so you're no longer allowed to have a wedge, figuring, okay, basically running downfield 40 yards into a brick wall, it's not exactly a good idea. Well, now they're talking about eliminating the run-up. You'd have 3 guys deep, and then you'd have everybody else lined up head-to-head, so that way you had to get past the guy right there, and you're not getting a full head of steam. I think what we're beginning to see is the beginning of the end of kickoffs. At this point, you might as well just go ahead and say you start the ball on the 20-yard line. I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing because, as I sit here this morning with my neck that's kind of stiff and back spasms and stuff, I could probably point back to playing football years ago because that's where a lot of these things happen. I mean, when you have a stinger in your arm and your arm is literally limp for 2-3 weeks and can't raise it up from football injuries, or, you get a tore ACL. Football is a violent sport, and they can try and take as many precautions as possible, but in the end, it's like working in a coal mine or working as a lumberjack or working as a longshoreman. You're going to get hurt. You're going to have risks. You're going to lose people. I love football. Greatest sport in the world. I can relate almost anything that's going on in the world to something that's happened on the field. Football taught me a lot. It taught me how to, when you think you don't have anything more to give, there's still more deep inside. That you're never out of it, and it's never over till it's over. But there's still a lot of toll that has to be paid for that experience. There's a lot of toll that's being paid for our entertainment. And we as fans forget sometimes that these are people that bleed, that hurt, that have to have a life outside of the field. We all love a great hit. We like seeing somebody get jacked up, but we don't ever see the aftermath. I applaud the NFL for trying to make the game safer. The change in helmets, where they've outlawed some helmets that don't rank as well. The VCS1 helmet, which is basically like a soft helmet that undulates when it gets hit and stuff. I applaud them trying to make the game safer. But in the end, it's only going to be so safe. So, guys, I've got to get to work. Fortunately, it is Friday, and this weekend I will finally get a chance to have enough time to marathon All or Nothing so I can see what all of you guys have been talking about. And other than that, guys, it's going to be kind of quiet for the next couple of weeks. It's just OTAs and off-season workouts before minicamp. But hey, we'll start taking a look at these guys that we drafted and how they're going to fit in with our Dallas Cowboys, and take a look or try and guesstimate which direction this offense and defense is going. And hopefully sometime soon, my voice will come back, because it still kind of sounds like I smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day, doesn't it? I'm Mark Holmes. This is Cowboy Joe Boo, and we'll see you guys soon.